Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ning Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. Emergency air evacuation saves 12-year-old girl in Jampur. Manipur Congress criticizes ED summons to PCC chief, calls it political vendetta. Kuki MP Zeribam Tamenglong and None clarifies on abductions of an employee of Telecom Department. In the early hours of Tuesday, Assam Rifles in coordination with Army Aviations conducted a critical emergency air evacuation to save 12-year-old Lun Hoiching from Hebron Bank in Jampur district, Manipur. Under the aegis of Headquarters Inspector General Assam Rifles South, this operation provided life-saving medical support. Lun Hoiching suffered a severe grade 5 right kidney injury following an accident on October 3, 2024. Despite urgent surgical interventions being required, the district hospital in Jampur lacked the specialized urological care needed to treat her, and her conditions worsened. With no signs of improvement, swift action became necessary. After doctors cleared her for travel in a sitting position, the Assam Rifles medical team monitored her vitals and coordinated with the district administrations and Army Aviations for an urgent airlift to Guwahati, where she could receive the necessary critical care. In the early years of October 8, 2024, Lun Hoiching and her mother were safely airlifted, ensuring timely medical intervention. The family expressed deep gratitude for the compassionate and prompt support provided by Assam Rifles and Army Aviations, according to a press release from the PRO Igar South. In a press conference held at Congress Bhavan in Imphal on October 8, 2024, M. Bhupenda Meite, the senior spokesperson of Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee, strongly condemned the Enforcement Director's ED summons to PCC President Kaisa Megachandra Singh. The Congress labeled the ED's action as a political motivated act of vendetta, vengeance, harassment, and revenge. K. Megachandra Singh, who is also an MLA, has been a vocal critic of BJP's double-engine government at both the center and the state, especially in light of the ongoing turmoil in Manipur since May 2023. The Congress labeled the ED's action as a political motivated act of vendetta, vengeance, harassment, and revenge. K. Megachandra Singh, who is also an MLA, has been a vocal critic of the BJP's double-engine governments at both the center and the state, especially in light of the ongoing turmoil in Manipur since May 2023. The Congress aims that Megachandra has been the voice of the people exposing the BJP's failures. On October 7, 2024, Megachandra received a summons from the Special Task Force of the ED's headquarters in New Delhi requesting his presence on the same day, which he could not attend due to short notice. The Congress viewed this move as an attempt to silence opposition voices and cover up the central government's colossal failures in Manipur, particularly pointing to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's absence from the state for the past 17 months amidst the ongoing crisis. The MPCC reiterated that the Congress will not be intimidated or silenced by such actions. The Kuki MP Zeribam Tamenglong and None clarifies on the abductions of a telecom department employee from Zeribam area. With this regard, the MP issued a press release stating that the missing or abductions of Mr. Vishnu Burman of West Bengal from Latinkal area of Zeribam on the 5th of October last week, who is an employee of Telecom Department. It is learned that some people in Zeribam area blindly accuse the Kukis community for the abductions without any evidence. So, the Kuki MP Zeribam Tamenglong and None clarified that there is no involvement of the Kukis in these abductions and also any kind of involvement related with this case. Any kind of blame upon our Kukis or community to this abductions case is totally irrelevant and unwarranted. Therefore, the MP also appealed that any kind of incriminations to us by any individuals or organizations or community to Meling, Kuki-Izo community should not be done, but the proper investigations to book the culprits by unbiased security agency. The Kuki MPs Ribam Tamenglong and Nonay also vehemently condemned such an unethical practice of Buddhism during these times of hardship due to Manipur ethnic violence and appeal for the safe release of the abducted employee. The Delhi High Court on Monday directed the Manipur government and the Staff Selections Commissions SSC to obtain instructions in a petition by Manipur-based Kuki students organization seeking that Churchampur be reinstated as a venue for government recruitment examinations for the remaining academic year. The bench of Chief Justice Manmohan and Justice Tushar Rao Gidela took up the matter and kept it for considerations on October 16. The petitioner organizations, represented by advocate Rudrajit Ghosh, submitted that Churchampur has been a venue for actions conducted by SSC for decades and had continued to be a venue for other central government conducted recruitment actions even after the ethnic violence commenced last year. But SSC has now arbitrarily and whimsically removed Churchampur as an examinations venue from its web portals for the upcoming examinations scheduled in the present academic year as well as the forthcoming academic year. With the removal of Churchampur as a venue, the petition submits that over 500 candidates from the Kuki-Izo tribal communities are left with only one examination center within their state, in Imphal, as a result of which those who had earlier opted for Churchampur as their test venue are now compelled to travel over 300 kilometers of treacherous mountain terrain to Aizawl, Mizoram. SSC issued a notice on its website on September 4 stating that the combined graduate level examinations Tier 1 2024 will not be conducted in Churchampur and Ukhrul due to prevailing law and order situations in Manipur. The petitions, however, goes on to highlight that exams were being conducted with Churchampur as a center until July this year. Apart from seeking reinstatement of Churchampur as exam venue, the petitioner organizations is alternatively also seeking that the authorities, including SSC, make necessary arrangements to enable tribal students residing in the hill districts of Manipur to travel out of state to Aizawl to write their exams. The dengue outbreak in Lamka continues to worsen, with 8 new cases reported from Jinkompang Cemetery area, bringing the total number of cases to 50 since January. District Malaria Officer Dr. Lingomua Samte joined hands with YMA Chinkon branch led the Malaria Department's effort to combat the outbreak, conducting fogging and investigations in the affected area. In the investigations, the department collected blood sample collections, source reductions, IEC or IPC, and fogging. Some rules to follow in order to prevent dengue disease are: avoid stagnant water around homes, dispose of waste properly, use mosquito nets, eliminate breeding sites, regularly cleaned and dry fridge and AC trays, use mosquito repellents. Medical department official warned. Dengue carrying mosquitoes breed in stagnant water. Mosquito can travel up to 100 meters. Symptoms appear 7 to 15 days after bite. Severe cases can lead to hemorrhaging, platelet reductions, and shock. Dengue symptoms include high fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, rash, bleeding gums. Residents are advised to seek medical attention immediately if symptoms persist. Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio on Tuesday called on the central government to intervene and stop the proposed auctions of a 19th century horned Naga human skull in the UN. In a letter to External Affairs Minister S. Jaisankar, CM Rio expressed that the auctions of human remains belonging to Naga community deeply hurts the sentiments of the people in the state. It is an act of dehumanization and is considered as continued colonial violence upon the Naga people, he stated in his letter. Highlighting the issues of the proposed actions, Nagaland CM noted that the news has been received negatively by all sections of the Naga community. The news of the proposed actions of Naga human remains in the UK has been received by all sections in a negative manner, as it is a highly emotional and sacred issue for our people. It has been a traditional custom of our people to give the highest respect and honor for the remains of the deceased, Rio said. He further stated that the remains of any deceased persons belong to their people and their land. The Naga Chief Minister asked Jaishankar to take up this matter with the Indian High Commission in the UK to ensure that the actions of the Naga human remains is halted. Rio said he was informed about the proposed actions by the Forum for Naga Reconciliations F&R and organizations representing the Nagas. The F&R notified the Chief Minister that a 19th century horned Naga human skull is included in an auction by a firm in the United Kingdom. The estimated value of the Naga human remains is between €3,500 and €4,000. The Naga ancestral skull is part of an action titled The Curious Collector's Sale and is catalogued alongside antiquarian books, manuscripts, paintings, jewelry, ceramics, and furniture, according to F&R. The F&R asserted that the actions of the human remains contravenes Article 15 of the United Nations Declarations of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP, which states Indigenous peoples have a right to dignity and diversity of their cultures, traditions, histories, and aspirations, which shall be appropriately reflected in education and public information. Around 50 children living at a hostel in Bihar's RBI district have fallen ill owing to food poisoning after a lizard reportedly fell into their food. The incident took place at the hostel of National Public School at Kurta Bazar Main Road of Bihar's RBI district. It has been reported that the health conditions of several children deteriorated after having the contaminated food. Following the incident, the school teacher immediately took the children to Kurta Community Health Center, where the doctors gave them some medications. It has been reported that 4 children have been given saline and other children are also being treated. A team of local police and the district administration have reached the spot after getting information. They have started their investigations. Parents are outraged at the school administrations over this incident due to their unhygienic practices. The school management has not yet spoken about this incident. The incident has led to some commotions at the school campus. An Indian army soldier was found dead with bullet injuries on his body after being kidnapped by terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Naga district, police sources said on Wednesday, October 9th. 2 soldiers belonging to 161 unit of the Territorial Army were kidnapped from the forest area in Naga during a joint anti-terror operation that was launched on October 8 by the Army and Jammu and Kashmir police. But one of them managed to escape, even after suffering 2 bullet injuries. The injured soldier was rushed to a medical facility for necessary treatment and his conditions remain stable, sources said. Later, the bullet-ridden body of the kidnapped soldier, Hilal Ahmad Bhatt, was recovered from Naga's Pachilbal forest area on Wednesday. The incident came a day after the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly results. A massive operation has been launched by the Army and Jammu and Kashmir to track the terrorists involved in the incident. Based on intelligence input, a joint counter-terrorist operation was launched by the Indian Army along with Jammu and Kashmir Police and other agencies in Kasban Forest in Kokarnak on October 8. The operations continued overnight as 1 soldier of the Territorial Army was reported missing. Indian Army Srinagar based in Narkor said in a post on X. Earlier in August this year, 2 soldiers were killed and 3 others were injured in an encounter between security forces and terrorists in Anantnag. Prior to this, 4 army personnel and a police officer lost their lives in an encounter in Jammu and Kashmir, Doda district, in an encounter with heavily armed terrorists. The attack was claimed by Kashmir Tigers, a proxy group of Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed (JEM). Three refugees, including a Syrian national and 11-month-old child, suffered burns as they were attacked with acid during an argument with residents in West Delhi's Vikaspuri, police said on Wednesday. The child was admitted to Safdarjung Hospital for treatment and was discharged today, they said. An FIR has been lodged and a local resident, Rakesh Kumar, has been arrested in the matter, according to police statement. The incident took place on September 30 near the UNHRC office located at Vikaspuri, they said. Deputy Commissioner of Police West, Vichitra Vir, said a PCR call was received regarding a brawl between the refugees and the local residents. A police team reached the spot and found that during the altercations, Kumar brought a can and threw some chemical at the 3 refugees and on the tintes where a few of them were residing. Vir said on primary examinations, the liquid appeared to be fentanyl, but the exact composition will be established only on chemical examination. Among the 3 refugees, 1 is a Syrian national, a police sources said. An FIR was lodged under appropriate sections of criminal law on October 1 and the accused was arrested, the DCP said. The police in a statement said refugees frequent the UNHRC office in Vikaspuri seeking work and shelter. They often raise slogans, causing disturbance to the locals. Refugees go there from time to time, asking for work and shelter. Many a times they raise slogans also, which cause disturbance to local residents. On that day also, there was a heated argument between the refugees and the security guard deployed there, leading to this incident. Read the statement. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) has announced an increase in the transaction limits for UPI 123 Pay and UPI Lite. The per transaction limit for UPI 123 Pay has been raised from Rs 5,000 to Rs 10,000, while the UPI Lite wallet limit has increased from Rs 2,000 to 5,000. UPI has significantly changed India's financial landscape by making digital payments more accessible and inclusive through ongoing innovations. To further promote UPI adoptions, 2 key enhancements have been announced. First, the per transaction limit for UPI 123 Pay will be raised from Rs 5,000 to Rs 10,000, and the UPI Lite wallet limit will increase from Rs 2,000 to Rs 5,000, with the per transaction limit going from Rs 500 to Rs 1,000. Say Governor Saktikanta Das. Industry experts view these changes as a significant advancement for financial inclusion and the adoption of digital payments in India. Siddharth Maurya, founder and managing director of Vibhavanga Anukulakara Private Limited, noted that this increased response to the needs of diverse users groups. Raghunandan Saraf, founder and CEO of Saraf Furniture, emphasized that these new limits will allow future phone users to access higher value transactions with UPI 123 Pay, utilizing for technology options to support this growth. Saraf predicts that these enhanced limits will lead to an uptick in higher value transactions and a decrease in cash usage. The UPI Lite wallet, now with a limit of Rs 5,000 and a transaction cap of Rs 1,000, is expected to promote more low-value offline digital transactions. UPI 123 Pay is tailored for India's 400 million feature phone users, enabling them to make digital payments without needing a smartphone or internet connections. Users can set up UPI 123 Pay by dialing *99#, selecting their bank, entering debit card details, and creating a UPI PIN, ensuring secure transactions even without internet access, explains Mehul Mistry, Global Head of Strategy, Digital Financial Services and Partnerships. He added that UPI Lite allows users to store money directly on their devices, simplifying payments and eliminating the need to access a bank server for each transaction. This development enhances the usability of digital payments for feature phone users and streamlines small transactions for those using the UPI Lite wallet. A man in a drunken stupor killed his 13-year-old niece with axe in Dengue's Powai Tea Garden under the Amalgamated Tea Company. The incident occurred in the midst of Durga Puja festivals, which had brought a celebratory atmosphere to the estate, especially in line number 3, where walkers were enjoying their festival bonus. However, the rivalry was marred by rampant alcohol consumption. On the tragic evening, the victim's uncle, identified as Mithun Bhumji, allegedly consumed a large quantity of alcohol and, in a drunken frenzy, attacked his niece with an axe, fatally wounding her around the neck. Local authorities, led by a team from Dengue police stations, apprehended Mithun Bhumji, whom is from the crime scene. The child's body was taken to the police stations where it remained overnight before being transferred to Tinsukia for post-mortem examinations the following morning. The murder has ignited widespread outrage with concerned members of the community pointing to growing menace of alcohol in the tea garden. Many have voiced that unchecked liquor sales, especially during festival times, have created an unsafe environment. The tragic death of the young girl is seen as a grim consequence of this unchecked alcohol consumption, with residents calling for stricter regulations to curb the availability of cheap liquor in the region. And as investigations continue, the incident has highlighted the need for greater attention to the society and social safety issues plaguing the worker of the estates, with alcohol abuse taking center stage in the latest strategy. The Lebanese Ministry of Health announced that 36 people have been killed and 150 others wounded as a result of Israeli attacks on Lebanon in the past 24 hours. This brings the total number of casualties since the beginning of the events to 2,119 dead and 10,019 wounded, according to a report by the Lebanese National News Agency. Nasser Yassin, the Minister of Environment in the caretaker government of Lebanon and coordinator of Government Emergency Committee, stated in the 13th report on the Israeli assaults on Lebanon and the current situations that 137 airstrikes were recorded in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of attacks since the onset of the aggressions to 9,400. He also noted that 990 centers have been opened to accommodate displaced individuals, of which 781 centers have reached their maximum capacity. Additionally, 181,700 displaced persons have been registered in the shelter centers listed in the report issued by National Operations Room. A 5-strong group of Russian climbers who went missing on October 6 while trying to ascend Mount Dhaulagiri in Nepal have been found dead. Mingma Sherpa, director of Heli Everest travel company involved in the search operation, said on Tuesday. The bodies of Alexander Dusenko, Oleg Kurlov, Vladimir Chistikov, Mikhail Nosenko and Dmitry Spilavoi were located by helicopter at an altitude of 4.4 miles, Mingma Sherpa told the Himalayan Times. The climbers are believed to have fallen from an altitude of 4.7 miles. The group left the high camp at 6 a.m. local time and made radio contact at 11 a.m. The managing director of IM Tracking and Expeditions, Pemba Zangbu Sherpa, told the newspaper. Time is now against us. The weather is getting worse, and we have only 2 days to evacuate the bodies. After that, the weather will get so bad that the evacuations will be impossible. The Mountaineering and Climbing Federation South Russia's Arkhangelsk region, chaired by Dmitry Spilavoi, said on social media, also confirming the death of 2 of its members. At 26,795 feet above the sea level, Mount Dhaulagiri is the world's seventh highest peak, located in Himalayas mountain range in the central Nepal. South Korea's defense minister Kim Jong-un on Tuesday said that North Korea is likely deploying its soldiers to fight alongside Russian troops in Ukraine, potentially putting them in harm's way. As Russia and North Korea have signed a mutual treaty akin to a military alliance, the possibility of such deployment is highly likely. A political report quoted South Korea's defense chief as saying in the country's parliament, adding that more of Pyongyang soldiers are likely to be deployed. The relations between Russia and North Korea are evolving to be almost as close as a military alliance, he was quoted as saying. As such, more North Korean troops could be deployed in the war. From how we look at it, it added. Russia and North Korea have strengthened their ties since Moscow's full-scale invasions of Ukraine, culminating in a defense-pact link in June during President Vladimir Putin's first visit to ASEAN nations in 25 years. The agreement marks the most significant partnership between the two countries since the Cold War, outlining mutual military support in the event of an attack on either side. The development has raised concern in the West that North Korea may be supplying Moscow with munitions for its war in Ukraine in exchange for economic aid and technology transfers. South Korea's defense chief also confirmed reports from Ukraine media indicating that North Korea's soldiers have been killed by Ukraine forces as they resist Putin's aggressions. We believe there have been injuries and fatalities among North Korean troops in Ukraine. Politico quoted Kim Jong-un as saying. Both Russia and Ukraine have used foreign fighters in their ranks as they face shortages of troops. Lebanon is on the verge of an all-out war, but there is still time to stop, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said. Speaking to reporters at the UN headquarters in New York, Guterres said on Tuesday that the Middle East is a powder keg with many parties holding the mess. I have warned for months of the risks of the conflict spreading, said the UN chief, adding that the situation in the occupied West Bank is boiling over and attacks in Lebanon are threatening the entire region. He said that over the last few days, exchanges of fire between Hezbollah and others in Lebanon and the Israeli Defense Forces have intensified across the blue line in total disregard of Security Council Resolutions 1701 and 1559, Xinhua News Agency reported. Guterres noted that large-scale Israeli strikes deep into Lebanon, including Beirut, have killed more than 2,000 people over the last year and 1,500 in just the past 2 weeks alone, and attacks by Hezbollah and others south of Blue Line have killed at least 49 people over the last year. In addition, Lebanese authorities report over 1 million people have been displaced in Lebanon and 3 lakh people have fled into Syria, and while over 60,000 people remain displaced from northern Israel. We are on the verge of an all-out war in Lebanon with already devastating consequences, but there is still time to stop, he said. The sovereignty and territorial integrity of all countries must be respected, he stressed. The Secretary General commended the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon, known as UNIFIL, for continuing to carry out their mandates to the extent possible and call on all actors to ensure their safety and security. Guterres said the past year has been a year of crisis, humanitarian crisis, political crisis, diplomatic crisis, and a moral crisis, and the nightmare in Gaza is now entering an atrocious, abominable second year. Over the last year, following the attacks by Hamas on October 7, 2023, Gaza has become ground zero to a level of human suffering that is hard to fathom. With over 41,000 Palestinians reportedly killed, mostly women and children, and thousands more missing, he said. Virtually, the entire population has been displaced, and no part of Gaza has been spared, said Guterres. No place is safe in Gaza, and no one is safe in Gaza. He underscored that international law is unambiguous, Civilians everywhere must be respected and protected, and their essential needs must be met, including through humanitarian assistance, and strongly condemn all violations of international humanitarian law in Gaza. The UN chief reiterated that the calls for an immediate ceasefire both in Gaza and Lebanon, the immediate and unconditional release of hostages, and immediate life-saving aid to all those who desperately need it, and the calls for irreversible actions for a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.